Hello everybody, hello YouTube fans and everyone. Been a while since I've done a film, so I figure why not? This film of us is based on a true story. Sort of say it's sort of a bit all nasty, but it's more of a true story. Now let's have a look. Come on, remember rightly in 2004, that being Wolf's Cheek. That's right, Wolf's Cheek. Again, as you can see here, a bit backwards because when I do it, it just do it back to front. Based on a true story, if anyone can see that. Based on a true story. Now, I'm having half about this because I remember seeing it back in the day in the theatre with one of my mates. Back in the day, back in that year, 2004, I saw this in the theatre. I sort of enjoyed it. It was a real popular sort of an horror film. It even says there, the scariest film of the day. But in all fairness, how many films come up with the scariest film of the day? How many do that? So, without ado, like I say, it's based on a true story, right? And I've got to admit, it's very creative. Without coughing. And for a low sort of budget Aussie horror film, it's a pretty good one. But it's one of them, would I watch it again? Would I watch it again? Would I watch it again? Now, for anyone who's never seen Wolf Cheek, word of warning. Spoilers. Spoilers. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your warning. 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has a downbeat ending. There you go. That's a downbeat ending. And you know what I think about horror movies that have downbeat endings? People could argue with me and say, well, you like watching Halloween 3? That's a twist ending. Because you don't know if it's a sad ending or not. And John Carpenter was very good for doing them type of endings. Yeah, I like They Live. That sort of has a downbeat ending. But in many ways, the main character, that being Ronnie Piper, yeah, he went, but he went with Jura. He took the middle finger out. He won at the end. So his death was an honourable death. His character, I mean. May he rest in peace. But in this, it's not. It's a downbeat ending, right? But I still find it an interesting film. Because this, to me, Wolf Cheek, is what would happen if Crocodile Dundee, remember, played by Paul Holden, but what if Crocodile Dundee was a psychopath, was an evil person, didn't just kill trucks, killed people for the fun of it, and he was a psychopath? What if his character were like that, and you had this on Wolf Cheek? What if Crocodile Dundee turned to the dark side? And what I mean by that is, still with it, so I don't bore people for half an hour and go around the houses. It's about these American mates, right? You see on the back here, best of mates, right? They're American. And they decide they want to go on a board, of all places, to go to Australia, right? But they go to the outbacks of Australia. Long but old, they meet this guy on the way next to his fire, and he's a psychopath. Just like I said, he's sort of like what would happen if Crocodile Dundee became a psycho. And again, like I say, without repeating myself, it's based on a true story, right? So they've got this American sort of people, teenagers, if you mind being that, say in the 20s, and decide they want to go to Australia, visit the world and all that, Sydney and all that. Now, in Aussie, they go to a bar, you've got these people just enunciating dickheads. No, it's not a nice word, but they are it. They're horrible people, right? So they're not welcome in Aussie. And the time of the toss, of all places, the car breaks down near the outbacks of Australia. And they meet this guy on the way. Seems like, at first, he seems like a genuinely nice fellow. Seems like a nice guy, seems friendly. He seems like, a really, really nice person. And he offers to help him out, right? He offers to help him out. So he's got this big truck, he puts a bar on it, ties it across, and he ties them to the outbacks of Aussie. He offers to help them out. He says, if you want, you can stay the night. I've got a couple of tents. You're welcome to stay the night. I'll make you a nice warm fire, I'll make you something to eat, make you a cup of tea, coffee, whatever. And I'll tie for your toss, and then tomorrow I'll get some help, get some cash, and I'll see if someone can fix your car for you. So, it's an offer you can't confuse. You're stuck in the middle of nowhere. It's pitch black. It's in the outbacks of Australia. So he offers to help them. And at first, you think he's a nice person. He's in there. He's making a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, something to eat. He's putting in a nice warm fire, what he's made for them to keep them warm. And the lad, because there's a lad, like I say, there's a lad and two girls. And the lad sort of like makes a joke because he's got this big duck off knife. He says, "That's not a knife, that's a knife." You know, the Crocodile Dundee line, what was using the original Crocodile Dundee. And at first, he's just sat there, not laughing at all. But then he sort of laughs later on. You can see he's not really amused, and you see the sort of sign there. You can see there's a dark side of this guy. He's not just. It doesn't seem like a nice guy offering to help these people out who are stuck in the middle of nowhere. And even the two girls, Barkham, say, you know, he's been dead nice to us. He's offered to help us and everything. And you're taking the mick out of him, you know, because he's also chucked out on D-line. But that's not the case, because near the night, they go to feet, but what they don't realise is he must have done something to the coffee, the tea, whatever they made them, and doped them up. And then you find out this guy, I mean, if you're right, this guy's a bit on the chubby side, all right? I know it's not a nice word, but you can get the idea he's a bit of a pervert. And he's a psychopath. He gets off and killing people. That's when you find out he's not a nice person. He hasn't offered to help them out. He's offering to flipping kill them, but they don't realise that. And the very cool, by the way, the lad just totally disappears, which you find out later on. Right? Spoilers again. And he's at one point, one of the girls trying to find a mate, and then she finds out her mate's been tortured by this big Aussie guy who it said was a pervert. He's getting off at torturing her. But then she whacks him, gets the doe runs off, and she goes, "Go and get some help." And then halfway through the film, she's trying to sneak a toss, but long below, she gets stabbed behind the back by that knife. The Aussie guy says, "Oh yeah, I remember, what was it your boyfriend said? That's not a knife, this is a knife. I'm going to teach you a lesson." You get the idea he's paralysed, and then if that's not bad enough, he kills her. So then you've got the other girl, right? She gets a car, she drives off, she thinks it'll be a happy ending, but then the Aussie guy drives after her, knocks her off the road. Oh, someone goes to help her, but he shoots that person in the head. Because that's his big duck or sniper done. She's badly wounded on the floor. He sneaks a tosser, shoots her in the head. She's dead. Downbeat ending, but not time. Because they're not mentioning what happened to the boyfriend. You got that idea it's a following day, and he's sort of like chained up with these bar wires on his hand. Really looks painful. That reminds me a bit of the burning in one scene in that. And but he manages to get away. You've got this wild dog. I'm not sure whether it's a dildo or whatever. Dildo, not the sex side, the wild dog they have in Australia. You're not sure whether it's a dildo or something, but he manages to get away from that dog. And he's all caught up, but you've got the idea he gets away. It shows the real lad. But it shows a fast part, which I don't like the way it ends here, of the die, with like that, then looks like a dark version of Crocodile Dundee. Walks off, pans out, goes all fades to black, says that line based on a true story and all that. End of movie. So it's not a bad one, just a little love of the downbeat ending. And it's like I say, I've just said it all for you. Couple of friends go out, I think one's a boyfriend of the girl. Both the girls get killed. The lad's the only one what gets out of Dodds. That's it. That's the film. But I sort of like respect it, because it's like I say, it's like what would happen if Crocodile Dundee turned into a pervert and turned into a psychopath and killed people for the fun of it. And that's it. Now, I do know that over the years they made a sequel. Wasn't as successful as the original one. There he is there, driving his car. But would I watch it again? No. Because, you know what I mean, I'll just have to repeat myself. I'm not a lover of films with downbeat endings. But I respect it's a true story. Maybe some of it did happen the way it's described in the story. Because think about it, the two girls get killed. How do you know in real life you didn't rape one girl, then killed her? Then the other girl decided to do the same and kill her. You know what I mean? How do you know that guy got shot in the head didn't get killed by just some idiot who had a sniper gun and was shooting people for the fun of it? And chances it was the outbacks of Australia, he could just dump them bodies, buried them bodies, and them parts of Australia, they'll never ever find them bodies. So and the lad never witnessed a thing, because he was stuck on a wall somewhere with bar wires all over his hands, and he was the only one that survived. You know what I mean? So some of it could be fictional, is what I'm saying, just to make the film more hype in what it is. But It's one of them, I'll probably not watch it again, but I'm not going to rant on it, you know what I mean? The acting's good, the director plays the psychopath, really plays him well, really makes you... I love the way on the DVD you don't actually see the face of him. You don't see him there. But it's like I said, you do see him, it's just sort of like fat, ugly sort of guy, a bit like a pervert. Proper talks Australian, because it's Australian officer. But for what it is, it's not a bad film. Roof Cheek, it's not a film I'd watch again, but it's not a bad one. So for that, have a good one. Into them, be smart, be safe, and I'll see you later.